Fortnite's Chapter 2 remix has kicked off with a bang. Can we just take a moment to appreciate how some of these POIs feel tailor-made for Zero build? Misty Meadows, for example. It's like an amusement park for movement fiends. So many moving parts, and so many ways to make your opponents question their life choices. I will say, the Chapter 2 map is a bit oversized, so a lot of your late game situations will be built on long-range combat, especially in solos. But I'm embracing that challenge, finding newfound interest in snipers that I haven't seen since the good old Reaper rifle. Reload, on the other hand, deserves a standing ovation for the way Epic integrated both old and new POIs. One of my favorite spots in Reload right now is Adobe Premiere. Adobe Adobes. It kinda reminds me of that unnamed POI that was south of Paradise Palms and was nicknamed Pueblo back in Chapter 1. Except Adobe Premiere is much bigger and jam-packed with buildings, as well as other objects that cater to a parkour experience. The map's design overall also encourages the use of advanced tactics, such as mantling to avoid fall damage. It's important to not only learn these techniques, but also how to deploy them effectively for surprise attacks on enemies. The standout feature of Reload is the introduction of solo matches, where players are granted 2 reboots until in-game zones. When reboots are disabled, any remaining ones are converted into 50 non-regenerating overshield each. So if you've ever wanted to elevate your movement and situational awareness, now is the perfect opportunity. The different ways you can outmaneuver your opponents within Reload's POIs, particularly in solo mode, have never been more intense. With dedication, by the end of Chapter 2 Remix, you'll be a master of webby movement. Solos are especially impactful due to the tighter spacing within most POIs, creating multiple points of attack without the worry of an opponent's teammate interfering. Essentially, it's a one-on-one standoff with your target, outside of any third-party interruptions, of course. Take time to strategize your next move, and this will help build muscle memory, making these techniques second nature in future encounters. While I often recommend creative mode to refine your movement, nothing compares to the experience gained from applying these skills in real battle royale matches. This is your chance to elevate your gameplay and push your movement to the next level. To my haters that love to remind me to try that in builds, well, I'm dedicating time to do exactly that. I'm no build sweat, but my goal is to demonstrate how you can effectively incorporate extra movement between builds. This way, you can adopt a hybrid approach that enhances your building gameplay with added movement, bringing a new level of diversity to your experience. Now, for those that haven't heard, aim assist was buffed.
Not really. It still feels incredibly inconsistent.
I understand wanting to provide a balance, but with the historic rise of cheating and controller feeling useless at times, you're hurting your player base significantly. Aim should take skill, but right now, it feels like a dang math equation. Last, but certainly not least, movement still feels incredibly choppy at times, especially since Epic altered the walk and run animations at the beginning of Chapter 5. There shouldn't be any reason for this, as it disrupts gameplay and limits mobility when it's needed most. This has led to incredibly frustrating moments, where I find myself stuck in a crouching position despite having stamina remaining. Overall, this season is already off to a much better start than last season. For what it's worth, movement feels like it's back to playing a crucial role, and points of interest have more depth with remix and reload mechanics than the entire Chapter 5 map did. But I'm curious what you all think. Is the season a W? If so, what are your favorite aspects so far?